Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Commodities Report. Starting with the 10-year yields here. As you probably know, the Feds were talking about two more rate rises before the end of the year. So they're certainly sort of cooling off their rate rising. In terms of the correction here, we were looking at, well, a move up through here. And as an A and a B and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the C wave here. We hadn't actually made a new high here, so I was just sort of thinking, would we push up there? But you know, and we certainly could push up there. You know, the 2-year yields have kind of led the way to the upside here, and I can see that they want to break a little bit more to the upside. But will the 10 years do that? They're kind of sitting in the corner sulking a little bit and just about to burst into tears by the looks of it, but we'll see how much pressure comes on this. You know, I can count 5 waves up here. I could also view this as a 3rd and a 4th and a 5th up here as well. So not quite sure, but anyway, that's sort of that way. We know the US dollar is moving down, so perhaps we'll move down from this point here. You know, it is possible to look at this as a wave C over here, by the way, and then look at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 to the downside as well. Okay, so we can view that in due course. So the US dollar here, different analysts will be counting this in a different way. It's one of those situations where that you could view it in different ways. You could put wave 1 here and have wave 2 here, and then wave 1 and wave 2 here, and then wave 1 and 2 and coming down again. You could go an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 2 and have that sitting there. There's different ways to look at it. We never reached our 50-60% up here. That's just showing me how weak the US dollar is. So I'll just leave that there for a while. I think the most exciting thing that's occurring for me is just subtle, but this one little move down here, taking this low out here, because it's obviously there's going to be a lot of support, you know, on that consolidation top, and this you know, it's all part of the same thing, and it'll run across into some particular number. And yeah, but the fact that it's pushing down here now, it's starting to give us the 5-wave move down that I'm looking for, because if we get 5 waves here, then we'll get a corrective wave here, and then we'll go. So we're starting the US dollar run to the downside, you know. So yeah, so that's all good. Yeah, so I had some USDT, so I moved that out into Bitcoin a good few days ago, which turned out to be a good call, the way that Bitcoin's powering off now with BlackRock and Fidelity and the institutions moving in as the rubble from the other dudes are getting cleaned up. This is bearish, you know. We'll go to the, sorry to sidetrack there, I just got to watch myself. So from the top here, we've been sitting at the 61.8% here, and I kind of, you know, could view this as an A and a B and a C wave down here and so on. But yeah, I mean, the time that this gives us 1, 2, 3, this will just come down a bit further here, and then it'll rally back up here, and then we can start again down here. So it's doing all the right things now for giving us 5 waves down here. It's a bit messy in here, and I could expand it out a little bit further, but just the fact of taking this out here, and it'll come down a bit further, but that puts it into a, you know, into a bearish bias at this particular point in time. So I'll run through the others quickly. So the US dollar, the dollar yen. So it had a big rally to the upside here. So we had counted 5 waves down, and then the A wave, the B wave, and our target was, well, you know, it's close to the box, and I probably need to recheck that and all that, but it doesn't really matter, because, you know, the Dixie didn't reach it at all, and this one did. So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, you know. It's just a starting point. So we've been looking at this here as the A wave, the B wave, and it's a little bit dodgy in here, but basically it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I mean, I could look at this. This is not really a good looking fourth wave here. I could look at that as a 1 and 2 as well. So I could probably do some other weird thing here. I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 here. So we may get another little high here, but I'm pretty sure that we're getting very close to the top now. And I can also see too, when you get this situation when it pulls down and starts to overlap these previous wave here, and it's struggling to sort of go up, and it will probably go up further. We could, while you know, when this drops here and starts to move up here, then let's give that a bit of fresh air perhaps. I mean, I could put wave 5 top in here. I could do that. That could be it. Or we'll be looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, you know, that type of thing. So the only way I can pick a top really is, especially when it's a bit messy like this down here, and this could be counted in different ways. But once we get a nice clean 5 waves down here, then we have confidence that we could short the counter trend of that, you know, at the 50-60%, and then move down and short the next one here, and, you know, do all the right things at the right time. So we don't, you know, we're not going to miss much by being a little bit patient. So we'll just chill on that. Yeah, so the sterling here, we're looking at this here, we're counting this as 1 and 2, and I wasn't sure if we use this wave 3 or this wave 3, but we're having a correction here anyway, so we're getting what we sort of expected at this point. And one of the things here, it's not going to be a big deal at this point. The 38.2% is just here, so it's possible that we can get a move down here before it moves up. But yeah, that's it. But if you get 5 waves here, it's just gonna, you know, you could buy anywhere in here really, and get to the 1.3 and just get out of that at that stage, because there will be another correction at that stage. And then we move over. In fact, sorry, I just want to I've got I've got 2 wide screens, and I just sort of like to keep things in a little bit of order. I'm messy enough, so if all the effort I make it try to be clean and tidy, seems to work out better for me. So obviously the euro dollar here, we're at the 50-60% here, so we expected it to stall there. So it's done that, but it's cruised off and it's had its little ABC correction here, and we talked about going long in here yesterday, so just in here, so you may be long, so we'll just paint that green, and so we can just manage a stop with it in that regard. So I'll just put that through there, and let's just bring this up here and just paint that red for a moment. And I mean, it's all pretty basic, but it could be helpful. Let's just see. So, you know, the thing here is that if this is correct, let me just get this right. Yeah, do you want to hold through this wave 4 here? I don't think so, because wave 4s typically can come back to the previous wave 4, so it'd be pointless to just churn up all that time and money, you know. So I think we need to get out on that. So on that, and also too, we're at 1.1. 1 is the strongest number in the market, so according to me. So just make 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to have, let me just get this out. We're going to have that correction. We're going to have that. We're going to have that. We're going to have that, and then we're going to have our correction down at that point. So look, I think I should have just done this in the beginning. It's just basically take the money at that number. Okay, that will be done, and that's all nice and clean at that point. And yeah, sure, it's going to go higher, but then it's going to drop, and it's going to go up and down, and you'll be going up and down with it. So just take it while it's being offered. And the Australian dollar. So with the Australian dollar here, we know that we're in the bigger picture of things. Let's just go and have a look at the daily chart. I haven't seen it for a little while. So, well, it's not really that one, is it? Is it? Anyway, let's go back a little bit here. So this is the opposite of the US dollar, of course, without Let's just go back here a bit. So just to fill you in the picture of what's going on here a little bit, and this is why it's pretty exciting. The US dollar will be doing the thing in the reverse. So the US dollar we've got wave 2 in for the US dollar. Do you know what I mean? So in December or whenever it was for the US dollar, topped out here where we bottomed out here, and the US dollar had 5 waves down and we had 5 waves up here, and then we've had our ABC pattern here. And yeah, so based on this bigger picture here, bigger still over here, going back here, we've got the A wave here, the B wave here, and then we've got 1, 2, and we're going to have 3, 4, 5. So we should just take that top out here somewhere up, be about 83 probably up here for the Aussie dollar, somewhere up here. You know, I don't get too particular about those things because, yeah. But in a nutshell, and we could probably put this as wave 1 here realistically as well, because it's a good size compared to this one in that regard. So I'll probably have to change things around a bit. Anyway, it doesn't really matter too much at this point. I just really wanted you to understand the importance of this trend here. So this is a commodity dollar, so the commodities will probably be doing the same, and we can see that with the with copper at the moment. We still need to confirm things. We're starting to see an impulse wave up for iron ore as well. I'd like to get a bit more grip on that as well in terms of confirming things a bit more. But that US dollar going down is just going to naturally rebalance, you know, things as well. So really with this here, we need to be on this market, you know, but to hold, you know, a lot of traders outside of America are using, it's so annoying that the Australian, you know, we used to be able to trade futures contracts on the Aussie dollar in Australia, and that's not doable now, but you can do it on the CME. And the good thing about that is there's no, you know, you can roll them over, and there's no overnight financing like there is with CFDs. You know, you wouldn't want to hold CFDs all this time here. I mean, that's just back crazy, you know. So what we've been looking at, if I can just bring up a chart here, I'll just have a look at, this is little Bitcoin making its break now. What I do want to have a look at is the ETF for the Australian dollar, which is under the Forex here, FXA. Here, so I'm thinking this is the same thing, the 1 and the 2 here. So basically we've got 1 and 2 here, and just let's just put that as a minor degree at this point. So we're looking for that pullback here. So I'm thinking that we're going to get some sort of little ABC back here. Now we already on the intraday, we already have a position in here at 66, 67 in here. That's one position in here. And we're just keeping the stop out of the way, which is down here. So I'll just do that here. Make that red. And I just want to get away from that. So that's that. And we want to be buying back here, but we'll probably end up be buying, 65 is the medium level here, so 66.50 would be a nice place to buy here. So I'm just going to grab this for a moment and clone that. Still getting used to that word clone. 66, 66.40, 66.50. So that's kind of where we want to pick up another one. But we'll look at that on the intraday 15 minutes here. So this is it over here. We've done that one. Okay, so let's just go back to this one here now. And were we on 100 ticks or we're on 1,000 or something? Can't remember. Oh, have I updated that? What have I done here? I haven't updated that. Might be 1,000, might be 5,000. Looks like 5,000 maybe. Okay, so here we are here. So the thing here is that I could count this down here as the A wave here, the B wave here, then 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm happy with that third wave here, fourth of this. So I'm getting this ABC pattern here. So it is possible for it just to climb straight up here. But the thing is that this has also got a relationship to the S&P 500, and the S&P topped out on the 16th of June, where this one is at 16th of June as well. And the S&P have got a clear 5 waves down, and we're looking for an ABC pattern, and then down again here and then up. So 66, 65. Yeah, so we want to be, that's not 6650, we want to be at 6665, 66, oh, it is 6650, yeah. So we want to be there and above on that. I'll just put this over here at somewhere in here, just so I know that we've got that position there, and we've got to stop here on this one here, you know. But definitely we want to pick one back up over here, but will we get there? So the DXY needs to push up on that correction. So yeah, I'll just give this a day or two. I'll just stay with this, you know, but we definitely want to be in, over here for that. And I'm just going to lift that up a bit there. Just anywhere in here will do for this one here, you know, on this, the FX, because if it's an ETF, you don't have the leverage with it. Do you know what I mean? It's just better. So it's a nice trend. So that's that. Anyway, sorry to spend some time on that, but I really wanted to sort of get that cemented in a bit. Okay, we're over to the US spot gold. So yesterday we were looking at this down here as, well, basically wave 3 here, and then an A, and then an ABC for the B wave, and then a C wave here. Now you probably get a triangle out of that, and you could probably count it in other different ways as well. But we're looking from wave 4 here down to wave 5 in 5 waves. So that's what we're looking at here, and it's probably 1 and 2, just probably one more. It doesn't really matter. So I think we've got one more move to come down here. But the thing is that while the US dollar pushes up in its ABC pattern, do you know what I mean? So what we want to do here at 1950, let's just say there's a mistake being made. So if we get a classic trading levels pattern at 1950, that's where we can move into. Okay, so it'll take a little while to establish all of that. But that's where we're going to move to. If it comes down to the 19 here, then we can also purchase it down here. But I always like to wait for the first impulse wave to come back, and then we get that little ABC, and then we can go up, because we can manage the risk better at that point. So we want that pattern there, which is this pattern here. So it's good to take a photo of this particular pattern here. That's the most common pattern in the market. This is the next common pattern where it doesn't stop here and just builds up from there. So we always have the trigger up here, then the trigger here. And then over here, the other third pattern on this is on the long side, where it doesn't stop here and just keeps on going through here. Eventually it tires out, and then it starts to fold over. And the interesting thing is that number that we're working with here, whatever it may be, becomes the balance line for this particular correction. So we still end up later on with the same pattern in a way over here in the entry and so on. So this is called the overshoot pattern. So it's good to have a copy of those. So, and it's not a perfect world, but it certainly helps you establish support and get the entry and manage the entry and the stop and all the rest of it. It's a starting point. But that's where we are for gold. And this is GDX here. So as the A, the B, and the 1, and the 2, and the 3, and the 4 here, because we're looking at that as 4 and 1. And just been counting down here yesterday. So in this case here, we are, well, I see it. So it's okay, we're on the right track here. So we can, that obviously goes here. This wave 4 can go here. And we still need one more to the downside here. So we'll put this over here. Probably come to the 29, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's all good. So this, well, let's just do it professionally, shall we? Let's rather than eyeball it, but which is fine with me too. But that's the 38.2%. So we can take that 38.2% on the top of wave 4 here, and that doesn't have to reach there, but that's where it would be the likely place for it to reach. When markets are working around a large number, and this is a large number here, and these large numbers tend to have large orders, and that means that the market tends to get pulled to that space. So it would probably get some A, B, and C here, and then down. That's my guess. It looks a bit impulsive at that point. So just chill out, and I think if you look for the safe trade, once it does move down here, the classic trading levels pattern, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC pattern, and then up at that point. If you can count 5 waves here, then you can buy the 50-60% retracement here based on that clear 5 waves. If you can't count 5 waves, then you have to wait for the ABC here and then go from that point. Okay, so that's that. And silver. So with silver, slightly different count here, but we're looking at 1 and 2, and we're looking down here for this. So I'm just going to clean this up here, and we're not ready to rock and roll on this, but that will be 5 waves here now. There may be one more little low here, I've got to figure it out, but basically wave 4 here, and then we need wave 5 to come into play. So that's where silver is at that point. And once again, we definitely want 5 waves up here before we go in and buy on this particular one. Okay, so I'm looking at this a little bit differently with with wave 1 here, an A wave and a B wave and a C wave down here. So a slightly different count, but it's slower than this one over here. I get that. We could count it in a different way as well. We can still have the we could still just, instead of having the A wave here, we can put it here as an ABC, but we've pulled back up to the 50%. That's a bit much for a wave 4 or anything like that of that nature. So anyway, we're not there yet. So that's that. And then we move over to base metals. So nickel here, we're looking at either a wave 4 here or wave 4 up here. We're not trading this, as I mentioned before. We still need further downside here. We need that low taken out. So this is all bouncy stuff off the number 20 here. So we're not ready to go. The move up here is in 3 waves, so it's corrective. So eventually it will take the low out here. It's quite possible we can push up for the C wave here. I haven't counted that down here. I'm not really fussed with it at this particular point in time. More interested in this one here in terms of copper here, showing us 5 waves to the upside. I just do want to have a look at copper here. We could use this one. Let me just go to what's today's? We're going to do that. We want to go to commodities. We want to go to copper. Well, in 15 minutes is good. So from this is the futures market here. So from the low here, we can look at this as 1 and 2 here. I was a little bit unsure about all this in here. I haven't really had time to ponder it. It's quite possible that I could put wave 3 here and wave 4 here for this. I mean, obviously that's, that's wave 1, wave 2. We've got 5 waves here, so we'll look at that as wave 1 and 2 here. Then we start getting overlapping wave structures here. So I don't know to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd and the 4th, or do I push this into here and look at this as the whole 3rd wave here in terms of 1 and 2 here? It still doesn't really give me much to work on, so I'm not quite sure about that. So I'm still just mulling this over about that 5 waves to the upside, and the same with this as well. We've got issues in here. I've been looking at a wave 3 with an ABC for wave 4 here, so we could do all of that. But I'll just let it finish off. I mean, I want to see this. I want to see this 5 waves up here. It's a bit like the US dollar moving down. I want to see 5 waves down, and once we've got that, then we know where we are, and we can work from that point, and we can start putting in some nice trades at that point, based on the ABC after the 5 waves up, So yeah, so that's where that is. We could just kill that for a moment. We could probably put that there and that there, but it still looks a bit like 5 waves up there. But there's 5 waves down here. Could be an ABC to this point here and still come down. There's a couple of things. Did it make a new low there? Let's just have a closer look at that situation there. didn't make a new low here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like a B wave here, but then that's going to give us a new high here. We could put the C wave here, but it didn't make a new low. So we do have 5 waves here. So we should get another 5 waves over here. That may be the 5 waves. Does it look like 5 waves? Looks like 3 waves here. Looks like that needs to be up here, and we still need another little move down here. Look, to be honest, it doesn't matter. We're not trading it, and we don't want to be involved in it because we want to get that 5 waves up here, and then we come back over here, and this is where we're interested in. This is where we can start building into it over here. So, and we get that clarity on the US dollar as well. That's also going to be helpful. So it will be the same old story. There's nothing to trade, and then there's everything to trade, because basically at the same time all this is going on, then gold and silver will be in play, the Aussie dollar will be in play, the US dollar you can short, and so on and so on. So okay, so the same thing with China here. We've been counting up as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so we're getting that turn now. So we'll just see here how this plays out if we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then a B wave, and then a C wave here, and those sort of things. We'll see if that sort of fits in there. I'll just have a look at Singapore. Singapore got a holiday today. Copper, Singapore. So so I've been counting these little 5 waves up here. So it's a little bit tricky to get in here and count these things, but just getting the general gist of it all. I don't see a nice ABC pattern here just yet. So, but yeah, working on it, and it's kind of looking more positive than negative. But yeah, I just want to get the evidence for this, and across the top here will turn us bullish. And once this clicks in here, I mean, your FMG and Rio and Vale and all those sort of stocks will be doing the same thing here. But when we get to this point here, we'll look at BHP, Rio, Vale, FMG, all those guys, because this will be where the buying comes. This will be where the tree. Look, will we get this? I don't know. If we get it, we need to be long, okay? So, and we'll nail that down much further at this point. But in terms of the bigger picture here, which I won't go into at the moment, this is where it can fail as well. This is where it can just come down at this point, and that's the end of it. But it does look like 5 waves up here. We spent a bit of time, getting the 5 waves in here and working it and all the rest of it. And this is how I've counted the last 5 here with 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third, fourth, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bit of a dog's breakfast in here, and there's overlap, but what do? You got to go to the best or the cleanest dirty shirt, so to speak, you know what I mean, for the bachelors. So that's that. And this is lithium here, but this is the ETF here, and it's got more tech in it than anything else, but we're just keeping an eye on it, not making a big deal about it, just seeing if we can get those 5 waves up here. And if we do get 5 waves up here, once again, it will be sort of over here that we can look to go long on over here with this. We have to, it doesn't matter, even if you traded that long, you're still going to come back, do you know what I mean? So it doesn't make any sort of sense. If you want to make money out of lithium stocks, then you can go over to some of the smaller ones that are going to get taken over. First of all, just have a look at this is the 2 big Chinese stocks, which own a lot of Australian stuff and stuff in all over the world, really. So I'm still thinking that we need to come down here, just generally speaking, for these. Another low to come in here. So I mean, I could be wrong. That could be a 5-wave move up here, but I've definitely left with 3 waves here so far. So don't have 5 waves up. So we could end up with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. I'm not quite sure. So these are still coming down in their own way. I don't have a buy for these, but I keep talking about them, until the cows come home. But these little guys in here, these Australian ones, they're popcorn, so they're banging it, So, we're getting, you see that 5-wave move up there, and you can see this is a classic trading levels pattern here, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, there'll be an ABC, and then we'll go up again, that kind of thing. LTR, same thing as well, it's just classic trading levels pattern here, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. There might even be another little high here, I don't know, but we'll keep an eye on it. It's not complete here to do another buy just yet. CXO here, just still waiting for that to be tripped there's nothing happening there. I mean, I don't know much about these companies either. I don't know the management. I don't know the cost of product. I don't know diddly squat. So AKE here was taken out by Lithium here, but it's so these are little, nice takeover stocks, So this is still fanging it. This is all of wave 3 here. We don't have wave 5 here yet. This will be all wave 3 here somewhere. So it's still got, it needs to clear these tops up here. So this is still going up much further. Little Leo here, that's fanging it too. So we still got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So this has still got, that would be 1 to 3. There's probably another little high here, but being around $1, you'll learn that, it'll be something like this. There's still more to go up here, but it will spend time here, even though it didn't stop here. This would be like a bit of an overshoot pattern here. And the distance it goes above will be the distance it goes below, because it needs to balance itself through the $1 mark here. Anyway, you can adjust that. These are US ones here. I'm in this Piedmont here. Yeah, I'm in it because of the bigger picture here. I understand is corrective, but it could easily be here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this before going up here. Or it could be the ABC to here, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and can continue to, kind of lifting off here and building to the upside. We'll see. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, the longer term view is going from this is when you talk about the trade, when you talk about Gann's work, so to speak, or not Gann, Richard Wyckoff, even to here, if you took it to here, that's the accumulation phase. So you could stand that on its head up. I don't know if that's equal or not, but the distance here will be the distance up here. So we're looking up at, $200, $150, somewhere up here for that. And if this is all corrected over to this point here, then we're definitely going, to 200. So squaring time and price, that is with Richard Wyckoff was the one that discovered that relationship. So yeah. So that's Lithium at that point. So that's that done there. So now we move over to the energy market. Now this here is the United States Oil Fund here, and with that, we're basically looking, just taking it at face sort of value from the top to the bottom here. That's the 62% retracement level. We may get there, we may not. This is 65, so this is a medium level, halfway between two major levels. So the major levels would be $50 and $80 up here. This is the halfway mark. That's what the medium level is. It's a great number to understand 65 and 72 and these sorts of things. Anyway, what I was thinking, looking at ETFs, the energy ETF and all the rest of it, was basically we're looking at that can actually go up to here as an ABC pattern here. So we're basically looking at an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. Now the C wave here, we need to be a little bit careful because we counted the first 5 waves. That was cool. And then we could look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here and finish here and then come down from that point. Obviously we could also look at this building to the upside with another 1 and 2 here and a 3 up here, 3 up there and 2 here, and now I've got to finish it off. So we could build up further at this particular point. So we'll have a look at crude. Crude's going through the same thing. We could just have that as 5 waves and move down, or we could build it up here further and then move down at that point. So we've got to see what this 5 waves looks like. And once we can establish what this 5 waves is, as it comes to pass, we'll understand more about it. And then anything above that we can go long, but we'll end up having some correction here, so we'll be able to go long at that point. We don't have 5 waves up here. I mean, we could go wave 1 here with an ABC for the A wave and a B wave and a C wave, do something elaborate like that, but it is rather humongous, corrective pattern for that one there. So to make it bullish, as much as I'd like to, It's kind of like bending the envelope a little bit too much. But, you know, I'm open-minded, and at the right time, we will look at that situation. But taking this pattern here over to crude oil is the same it's the same thing here, really. So we've been looking at this as the A wave here with an ABC for the B wave, and then going up for the C wave. Now, you can also see 5 waves here that we've been working with for quite some time, and this would be probably 1 and 2 and a third wave here. So we've still got 3, 4, and 5 here to finish off that. Yeah, and sure, the first thing that folks say, Pete, but wave 4 overlaps wave 1. I can see that, but that's typically what happens on an intraday level around a large number, because large orders just pull it to itself. Everybody's thinking of 70, you know, all the stop losses will be there, all the buy orders will be there. It's, you know, it's the bar, it's where everybody meets. So except me. Yeah, can this build higher? Do we need to build it higher? I think we just go one step at a time with this. So once these 5 waves here are finished, we'll just see what we get here. We'll just see, you know, because if we get a big move down like this, then, well, it could be an A wave, I guess, but 5 waves at that degree would give us a counter trend and another move down here, which is kind of what I'm expecting, really, you know, a move much deeper down here. But we'll see how it's affected by the US dollar and those sorts of things moving lower. But yeah, we're getting close as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So, you know, at minimum, that's our sort of terminal point there, which should be across the top here, which would be understandable as well. So, you know, this is what can happen at that point. There's a lot more to it than this at this point. We can't just go shorting it. We need to, yeah, there's a lot more to go on at this point with that. Okay, so that's the energy, not all the energy. Now we're on to gas, and this is the gas fund here, the same thing as the crude oil one was. And we've been looking at this as 3 and 4 and coming down for 5 here with 1, 2, 3, 4 here, an A and a B and a C here for wave 4, and then down for wave 5 here. So there's 2 things that can happen here. We've either got the low in place, or we have to look at this here as wave 1 to the downside, and A, B, C back for wave 2, and then we're coming down for wave 3 here. 3, 4, and 5 coming down here, down to this area here. So this 5 becomes over here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one thing that can happen. So we're, you know, we're not asleep. I'm aware of that. The other point is that, well, you know, we had our first little 5 waves up here. We counted that, and that was okay. And then we've counted up here for the 3rd wave, and as wave 1 and 2, and then we're waiting for just wave 3, and then we're waiting for wave 4 to pull back. That looks like it's in 5 waves to me, as wave 1 here, 2 here, and all the way down for 3, 4, and 5. It's kind of nice 5 wave structure. So this is a 61.8%. So do we come down from that point? Do we have some sort of, do I have anything here? I should just create them now that they're here. You know, are we going to get some sort of A, B, and C wave here? I mean, we could also look at that as a top of wave 2 as well. So is this the case? As an A and a B, and 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another high to go in here, perhaps. Is that what's going to happen here? We do this, so not quite sure. That's the 38.2%. It's a bit difficult to count that down as a corrective wave and put that there, you know. This will be the same for the natural gas as well. Just sort of, it helps looking at both of them. We are working across, the biggest number is 70 here, so we've kind of got that as the balance line for all of that. You know, we don't have to pull down here. We can just, this is the 38.2%. We can just kind of hang here with that. If we get this, for example, getting round to a long way around to the whole point, once we've got this here, if this is indeed the case and we don't go further down at this point, which is which is valid as well. If this is an A and a B and a C wave here, then going long above the top here, well, it's not so much going long here, because all we'll get is a move up here somewhere as wave 5, and then we'll get an ABC pattern here. But what it does do, it tells us that we're going to get a bigger impulse wave. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here. So if we can prove that we get 5 waves here, that means we'll get an ABC, and then we're going to go further up again. We get 5 here, we're going to get 5 over here. So this is the trade over here. Sure, we can, I don't know if we'll bother with that or not, but this will prove that the whole thing is 5 waves and not 3 waves. So there's more work to be done here, and anything can happen, but that's where my thoughts are at this point. So yep, that could be wave 2 at that point, and this could be wave 1 to the downside and back for wave 2 and so on. You know, I'll just put that there so we know we've talked about it. But even if we were going to come down from here, then I think what we would do was look at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then there would be 3 and 4 across here, and then 5 here, and then there'll be an ABC pattern over here, and then we can go short at this point, you know, based on those 5 waves. So we just need for it to come to us and work itself into a corner and all of those sorts of things. So there's a lot to go on with at this point, so we'll just leave it. But this is a nice clean sort of picture here for gas that we're looking at. So this is gas coming into here, the futures gas. So once again, you know, we can look at them as wave 1 here, as we did in the other one, wave 2 here, and wave 3 up here, 1, 2, 3. I've had it as an ABC, but it's fair. And then an ABC here for wave 4. Put that there. And then we can put this here. That also looks like a pretty slick 5 waves down here, doesn't it? So I'll put the B wave here. Do we have a C wave? I can't find one anywhere. But so it's the same story here as well. Because the bigger picture here for this, if we go to 200 and go to 50k, where we've just been shooting the breeze about the bigger picture, as I mentioned, and for new folks that are onboarding Trading Lounge, is that we could look at it as an A and a B and a C wave and have the low in here, and it makes a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could have that could be the low here, and then we go up from that point. If we were going to go up, it'd have to be wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then we need to see if we get 5 waves over here for that. We still need to get more information at that point, because we could look at this here as excuse me, I'll just get some ABCs here. So probably not the right degree of structure, but we could look at this as the A wave here, the B wave here. There's a couple of different ways to look at that. We could put that up there as well as an ABC up here for the A wave, the B wave here, and then the C wave over here with 5 waves up here, and then still have a top in here. So it still doesn't get us out of the bearish pattern just yet. But having 5 waves up here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, what it would do is it would eliminate this from being a triangle and having wave 4 over here as wave 3 here and wave 4 over here. The triangle could if we get a push up, if we get, clean this up, if we get a push up here, it doesn't confirm it, but if we get a push up here at this point, I mean, there'll be a little ABC here first, whatever. If we get that up here, in fact, I better just put that in here, so a little A, B and C wave here. So if we get that 5th wave here, it means we can get rid of this as a triangle pattern coming through here. We get rid of that wave 4 at that point. It doesn't mean that we can get rid of wave 4 at this point with some sort of A, B and C wave here and still have this wave 4 here pulling back to this wave 4 and then coming down at that point. So when this does come down here from this low here, we can look at that as 5 waves up, and then we can look at this as an ABC pattern, and then we can go along there. We'll be bullish at that point because either going to do that or do that and then come down. So this will be this will be the T section here to turn left or right. Okay, so there's a fair way to go yet. There could be other counts out there, but at the end of the day, they'll lead back to the same situation, whichever way I look at it, to this point here. And that's it. Alrighty. Thank you for tuning in. Cheers.